Yes, let's do it. It is lights out and away we go. Hello, racers. Welcome to episode 18 of the Hard or Soft F1 podcast. I'm your host, Adrian Huff, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, RJ McCullough. How's it going, RJ?
Oh, it's going pretty well. How was your weekend, Adrian?
It was pretty good. It's been very stormy, and it's forecast storms for like the rest of the week. So yeah, it's gonna be a great week. But I'm supposed to go swimming tomorrow, so hopefully it's just not lightning for like the afternoon.
Yeah, that's not ideal when you're going swimming.
Hell no.
Yeah, so I'm going to get real for a second on the podcast here, because it is our podcast. But
Yes.
So this weekend I had a little golf tournament with my friends, the King's Crown Invitational. So on June 25th, 2018, my dad passed away, unfortunately. It was a very sudden death out of nowhere. He had a pulmonary embolism. It's kind of like a blood clot went to his heart and just ruptured or whatever, and very suddenly passed. So it's been obviously tough. It's a tough day for my brother and I, but last year we made an annual thing to have a golf tournament on that day with like 20 of our closest friends. So we did that again this weekend. Saturday was June 25th. So we did that, and my team was victorious. So we won the King's Crown trophy.
Oh my God.
But so there's that. So yeah, started to get a little sad on the podcast, but it's okay. We won, so it was fun. But yeah, a bit of a maybe not the best weekend. Had to deal with some real thoughts and stuff like that. But yeah, that's okay. That's life, right? Shit happens. So yeah, I don't really have anything more on that. Maybe one day you'll be able to come play in the tournament. That'd be cool.
Well, I will not be able to contribute to a win because I have a horrible golf swing. But I've told you this, off air. Obviously, very sorry for your loss, but I think that tournament is a really cool way to keep your dad's memory alive. So seeing all those pictures, it looked like you guys had a great time. The golf course looked amazing. Looked like the weather was awesome. Good contrast to how it is here right now. So that's awesome though. That's really cool to hear. I had no idea even like any details about that even. So, hearing about that is super interesting and really cool.
Yeah, it's been a tough couple of years to try and deal with that, but it's
sure
kind of move on at some point. But he'll always be there with us, and it's good to have that to honor him every year. The first year we did it poured rain all day, so it was nice. This year it was sunny, it was hot, it was almost too hot, which brings me to I'm gonna have to move past this before I start getting choked up. So it brings me to my first question for you, which was if you're spending a day outside, what's your ideal temperature? I know some people like it being super hot, some people don't. So what's your, and we'll have to do a little Celsius Fahrenheit conversion.
Yes, actually, let me pull that up because I just realized most most F1 fans are not American, so it's going to be Celsius. Let's see. So outside, ideally, I mean, if you're like at the beach, you're going swimming, ideally you would want it to be like not like scorching, but you'd want it to be hot. So like something like 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's see, that would be 85 degrees Fahrenheit is 29.4 Celsius.
Ooh, you like it hot?
For the beach, but
For the beach, okay.
Obviously you are a golfer. Me and my friends like to play mini golf. So let me see what this is in Celsius. Ideally for me, I like if it's outside with like the sun out, I like it to be 21 Celsius.
Yes, that's me too.
Yeah.
When I wake up in the morning, I like to see that it's like this quick conversion. I like to see that it's around 17, which is around 62, 63.
Yeah.
And then the high of like 22, which is about 72.
Yeah.
That's my range. I like to be able to wear a nice little sweater like this, and then maybe have to take that off. But yeah, I don't. As I'm getting older, the humidity when it's like, let's see here, 30 degrees here. So when it's like 86, too hot for this guy.
Yeah. Oh, dude, same. Especially when you like, I'm a bigger dude. So like the big, like
you're getting
that
trimmer.
just for sure, that just doesn't really lend itself to like super super hot weather. You just always are a little bit uncomfortable in some way, but especially when it's like really really hot, it's just unbearable, dude. Oh my god.
Mhm.
But
Also, as a
yeah,
guy that personally likes to have his fair share of beers, it gives you a little bit of a beer belly, and t-shirts aren't really the most flattering for that. Whereas a
nope,
nice little sweater, nobody knows.
exactly.
Yeah, cover
Um,
it up.
I sleep. I ideally sleep at like 67 Fahrenheit, so like 19 and a half Celsius, something like that. That's what I like to sleep in. I like it cold.
Are you a fan guy?
Um, I like the noise of it, but
Yeah.
like there's been times where like our power's been out because of storms, so I'll have a fan aimed on me, but like I'm so afraid of my friend told me one time like years ago that if you slept with a fan pointed on you that you'd get tinnitus in your ear and you would have a constant ringing, so I've just been so
Yeah.
afraid. But I have my ceiling fan going all the time, but
Okay.
the bathroom fan is the goat of all fans because the
Ah,
noise like I can't sleep in silence. It's got to be noisy and cold. I love it.
yeah, I
But
can't
not the
have.
TV.
It's got. Oh no, it can't be. It's got to be just like white noise
Hmm.
fan, or if I don't have a fan, I'll just go on Spotify and put on like white noise
Yeah, that
machine or
works
something.
too.
Gotta have
Yep.
something, but yeah, I guess we can start getting into some F1 chat now.
Yeah.
Just gonna bring up the first thing that caught my eye as a Mercedes fan. It looks like this might be the potential week where things have turned the corner for Mercedes because they were given more wind tunnel time, and they have another upgrade, and it's Lewis and George's home track. First time the two British drivers are together as teammates in England, so that'll be kind of cool. But yeah, so they weren't like handed more tunnel time. It's based on like the standings. Teams get more tunnel time, so they were given more tunnel time than wind tunnel time than Red Bull and Ferrari. So although I know what a wind tunnel is, I couldn't really tell you exactly what that does, to be honest. But it seems like it's a good thing that you want to have. So I'm glad that they
Right.
have that. But they also have confirmed they will bring upgrades. And George Russell says he is very encouraged for this week. Big
Interesting.
strong statement from George Russell. George Russell there.
When you say they were given more wind tunnel time, I've seen like the wind tunnel in action and I've like read a couple of articles about it, but like I don't when do they do it? Like have they been given
So
more time since the last
I think
GP
it's like
or
maybe every. I'm just gonna read what it says here. As Mercedes won the constructors title last year, they were given the smallest amount of wind tunnel time for this year.
Oh, okay,
However,
okay.
now that they've dropped to third, they've been given an extra 32 chances to fix their bouncing W13 on top of the 320 visits they were granted in the first half of 2022. So I guess
Oh,
like depending on where you are in the standings, they give out more wind tunnel testing time to try and level the playing field.
so makes sense why the car wasn't top notch because they had the least amount of time. But I mean, they've done that so many
But
years in a row. So
yeah, and Red Bull had the second least amount of time, so it's like
right,
can't,
and
but
Haas
still,
and
that's good that they're
Williams
getting,
have the
yeah,
most.
exactly. So, but it's, just as much as they can slowly close that gap. Plus, Silverstone, as we mentioned last week, is more of a tradition. It's not a street circuit per se. So the track is just better quality, which
Hmm.
has boded well, you could say, for Mercedes so far this year. So, I mean, my hopes are high for another Mercedes podium. Christian Horner is doing his typical saying Ferrari is going to be the fastest car this week, but Max is, as you know, been on another level, so that's gonna be tough to beat. But I
Yeah.
don't know. Hopes are high for this weekend for this guy.
Hmm. I mean, I could definitely see Mercedes doing super well this week. I mean, even though they've had a lot of troubles with the car, I still feel like they've had a lot of luck this season,
Yeah,
especially with like all the DNFs. But yeah, they're definitely at a place where we could see maybe a win from one of the Mercedes drivers. I know both of them want it more than anything. Probably George a little more than Lewis, but I know Lewis probably wants to win at Silverstone again. It's going to be got to be an amazing feeling, but I don't know. You're right. It's not really a street circuit. When I first started playing the F1 game, I didn't really like Silverstone, but
hmm
the more I've played the game, the more I've grown an appreciation for that track. So it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. And last year, I mean, everybody knows what happened last year, so hopefully nothing like that happens again. But I know also Max though is hungry for redemption. Probably, I mean, he
Yeah.
wants to twist the knife after what happened last year. But I mean, he got his championship, so hopefully he's not too salty about it. But I don't know. I'm super excited though. What my other thing is that there's another British driver that has a lot less of a chance of a win, and that's Lando Norris.
Lando, yes. Lando. I love Lando, but yeah,
I love
that
Lando, yes.
McLaren has been one of the biggest disappointments of the year. And I
Mm-hmm.
guess that kind of ties in. I can kind of skip ahead to one of our. I was going to talk about it later, but it fits right in now. Our good boy Mike Crack. Damn! I was hoping to get a spit take from you there.
Close.
Our good friend Mike Crack. He's like the Aston Martin, whatever,
Team
Christian
principal?
Horner and Toto Wolff are team principal, sure. And he says they're bringing upgrades as well at Silverstone. So, and he says that he doesn't think they're going to be able to catch Mercedes for third, and obviously not Red Bull and Ferrari, but he thinks that it should bring them within, I forget the exact term, but to paraphrase, like, they should be within reaching distance now of McLaren, which is interesting. So I don't know. Do you think that's just like wishful thinking? They have shown like some positive signs, like Vettel, even Stroll did well in Canada. So like they've shown chances, like signs, and Alpine decent at times as well. So I don't know. I do feel like McLaren doesn't have like a strong grip on fourth place.
I mean, anything's possible. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to judge, but they have like 16 points. They're 1 point ahead of Haas. I mean, you need to be passing, Alpine and Alfa Romeo and fucking AlphaTauri before you're talking about McLaren. I mean,
Yeah, they need some
McLaren's
top fives.
Yeah, McLaren's over or almost 50 points ahead of them. So like, and McLaren's also not doing very well this year compared to like how
Yeah.
they should be doing. So, did you actually not to bring it back around to McLaren, but there was a little Zach Brown gave a little, not really a snippet, but sort of a comment. It was just a little more insight because they've been doing a lot of videos with Lando and Daniel. So there's just been lots of comments about their charisma and their energy with each other.
Mhm.
Chemistry, that was the word I meant to say.
Okay.
They just have they're very different, but also I don't know, they just make a good team. I don't know. They have a lot of charisma together, but he sort of clarified that statement. He was like, I love Daniel. He just kept going on about how great he is. And like, he's like, even though there's been troubles, he just then sort of just started to shit talk the car and kind of didn't really give Daniel a pass, but it was a little bit of an ease of thinking, I guess. More like we know there's problems with the car too. We know it's not just Daniel, basically. So I don't know. I know there's a lot of people that have been saying that his F1 career is in question, but especially after that, I think it's pretty much a guarantee that we're going to see him next year. I mean, his contract is until the end of next year, so I feel like it would just be way too much of a fuss for McLaren to take him out, even though his performance has been not the best. But, Daniel
but I
always...
mean, we also, like you said, we've seen with Lando, like the car itself.
Yeah.
Lando is one of the better drivers on the grid, and he's not even getting that much out of the car, so can't blame Danny too much. It's just disappointing, but it makes so much more sense for McLaren to keep Danny next year, and then I think there's like a pretty big grid shuffle potentially coming in 2024. So
yeah,
which kind of ties into Pierre Gasly just re-signed with AlphaTauri. Yep. Like, so the grid is sort of like locking up for next year. There's not really many spots going to be open. I mean, obviously seems the main rumor is that Latifi out, Piastri in, and even what's his name, Otto Schnuffhauser or whatever.
Schnuffhauser.
Yeah, sure. He even said like, basically, yes, Piastri is going to be driving next year. Didn't say where, but it seems like Williams, which I would love to see as much as my boy Latifi, now that I've got a picture with him.
I know.
But that's going to be a relic from his last year in F1.
Hey, he'll go to NASCAR, IndyCar, or Le Mans. Who knows? Yeah, he'll be fine. He's got those sponsors. But to sort of finish off what we were saying, it's very likely Daniel will still stick around, but at the same time, Lando is 35 points ahead of him. So that's a lot. That's not, anything to just sort of be like, oh, it's the car. It's both. But I don't know. We'll have to see. We will have to see. I don't know. I've just been very fascinated with McLaren and their social media team this past week. They've been posting a lot.
They have very good social media. And I will say, like, from Montreal, they're like every team has like a merch tent or whatever, and like their merch is them and Aston Martin. I'd say have the nicest looking merch, so or just nicest looking like stuff. So that they've done all the off the track stuff well. They just got to figure out the car. But do you have anything else on Gasly? Because I feel a little not bad for him, but he just seems like he's kind of stuck. But he's still driving an F1 car, so.
Right. Yeah. He probably just assumed, he's like, if I am going to go somewhere else, it's not going to be for a team that I want to probably drive for. He's probably waiting for like a big slot to open up. Maybe Lewis retiring, maybe Daniel retiring. Who fucking knows? But I'm sure he's waiting, and he gets good enough results for them to keep him. He's a great driver, but. Yeah. Gosh, the 2024 grid shuffle is what I'm really waiting for, because that's when I think shit could be like completely changed. So
yeah, I agree. Like, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Like, yeah, Ricardo, Gasly will obviously be up. Hamilton will be up. Alonso, I think, will probably be up. Vettel could be up. Like, I'm sure there's tons more that we're not even thinking of, but like
that's the end of Bottas.
Even like Ocon could be Bottas. Yeah, so there's a lot of guys so that's going to be a good time to look forward to, especially because that'll be 2 years into the cars, so we'll really have more of an idea like who's driving well. Like if this was happening this time next year, I don't think they'd be backing Ricardo as much, because then it's like, well, you've had time with the car.
Right.
Kind of brings me touched on Bottas quick. So I saw a story today, interesting. But he almost actually quit F1 after the 2018 season. So let's read a little bit of that. So at the end of 2018, I almost stopped. It was so close, just because of the fact I couldn't understand and take in the fact that I couldn't beat Lewis in those years. I put so much pressure on myself that toward the end of 2018, especially when I started to have the support role within the team, I really couldn't take it. I struggled. He didn't do well, obviously, in those years. And then he sort of just took a break from it all, came back a little remotivated, did better in 2019. And then now, obviously, he's doing pretty well with Alfa Romeo. But he said Lewis's consistency and performances overall for the whole season, I just couldn't match. Kind of like, this is one of the reasons we love Bottas, is that he's willing to be so open and honest. And I don't think many guys would admit that they almost quit because they realized like someone's better than me, which would be tough. So what do you think? I know you're a big Bottas fan. What did you think of that?
It makes total sense. Lewis has been at the top of his game. He's in the best car. He struggled with race pace sometime, but he definitely has had some like really legendary wins. So he at least has a solid career to look back on with Mercedes, but I can totally see where he's coming from, because it has just got to be so difficult to be Lewis Hamilton's teammate, Yeah. But at the same time,
unless you're George Russell.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, you're like, okay, well, I probably wouldn't be winning the world championship no matter what team I was on, because I'm on the best team, obviously, or in the best car, arguably. And Lewis is just unmatchable at this point. So I'm sure he kind of found like sort of like maybe some solace in that it's not going to happen no matter what. So let's just
at least
stick it out with Mercedes and just try to push to get the constructors, is basically what he built his career towards, and assisting Lewis when he was told to. But still, I fucking love Bottas. He posted his girlfriend posted another ass picture on her Instagram today. He loves showing his ass.
If he would have left then, we would have never got to see the peachy pictures that he's posting. They're just
unless he chose a completely different career path, in which case we may have seen way more.
Yeah, we would have seen this years ago. Man, him and Mike Crack.
That would have been his stage name.
Yeah, I know. It's used up now. All right, so what do we got? Just I'm gonna switch topics completely here because there's really no good segue to go into this. Bernie Ecclestone opened his old mouth again, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because it doesn't. I'll see if you can make sense of it. So, we're like, it reads to me like he's just talking out of his ass. But do you think there's any truth to this? According to Bernie Ecclestone, Toto Wolff is, quote, getting a bit fed up with Lewis Hamilton's lack of performance and thinks Lewis could end up leaving the team before the end of his contract. Lewis might sell this position to Toto, he added. This is how much I am getting. I'll step down and give me half of what I could get. Toto can do one of his magic deals, offer someone less money, and keep $20 million. Nobody needs to tell Toto this because he has already thought of it. Lewis would probably stop under those circumstances. Let's see what else he said. I'm surprised about Lewis this year. I'm surprised, or is it a case of Lewis doing a bad job? A bit of both. I don't think Lewis is actively helping George. I don't think he's doing anything. I don't think he cares too much. He's not prepared to put in the effort into winning that he did. And I'm just going to tie that into, I'm not going to mention the quote, but there's also a quote from Nelson Piquet, I guess Max's girlfriend's dad, or fiance's dad. There's a quote he had after Silverstone that I guess is just kind of making the rounds now. He's the Brazilian word for the N-word towards Lewis in that. So this is just to point out that people that are like, oh, Lewis is so dramatic, he makes up all this shit that's happening against him. Like, these are two prominent people in F1 that are openly saying these things. I can only imagine what people are saying behind closed doors if they're saying this in public. So, yeah, obviously, I can't imagine that there's much to add on that, but it sucks that it still happens so frequently. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Response to the first quote from Bernie, that just sounds like the ramblings of a crazy old man.
Yeah.
I actually saw a clip from, I don't know if it was his first world championship, but it was Seb. I believe it was when he won the title in Brazil. I could be completely off, but he had just won the title. Bernie was back there and Seb was like trying to talk to him, but the guy was just talking to like a very like young girl, young as in like 20s, like young 20s, but he's, obviously was in his 60s at the time, late or early 2010s, 10 years ago. Almost, but it was just very weird. And Seb's like trying to talk to him, but he's like kind of almost brushing Seb off to talk to this chick. And it's just like, you're ignoring the world champion. But God, that is just like, I don't know. I couldn't even make sense of the quote you said. I mean, I could see Lewis maybe leaving but at the same time, it makes absolutely no sense. Like, where would he go? And also like he wants half of his money. It's just like that's not
like incoherent rambling and like saying like, I know Toto doesn't have to be told this because I know he's thought about it. Like you know what Toto's been thinking about.
Right.
It's a very strange quote. Yeah, I was like, it doesn't make sense to me. I didn't know. Figured it wouldn't make sense to you either, but now I know. It wasn't just me.
And the Nelson Piquet, I don't really know anything about him, but is he Brazilian or is he?
I guess so. Like the quote was in Brazilian, so I don't know. He used to.
Or was he just using another nationality to be a racist asshole?
Yeah, I don't know
or another language.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Fuck that. Like
Crazy.
that's fucking bullshit. That's unacceptable.
Another person that's just in Max's hemisphere that seems like not the best person. So again, credit to Max for seeming to kind of come out of that bubble and he seems like he's a pretty good guy at the end of the day, given everything.
I mean, I don't mean to shit. I mean, I don't know anything about Nelson Piquet. I don't. But if that is a true quote, then that's fucked up. But
yeah,
I also don't know anything about Max's partner, girlfriend, whatever you want. He wants to call her.
Yeah.
Kelly, is that her name?
Sure. Let's say Kelly.
It is. I'm trying to.
Here, we'll look it up.
But do you know the story of how they got together?
I sure do.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that's a
I
very
think we talked about it on here before.
it is Kelly Paquette, but yeah, it's it's pretty
She's
it's
Brazilian,
pretty
so
crazy. Oh, okay, so that makes sense. So yeah, he was
yeah.
just using their own language, I suppose. But you don't get a free pass even if it's in your own language. You're still a racist piece of shit. You can't say that kind of shit, bro.
Yeah,
That's
can't do that. Can't
unacceptable.
do that. Okay,
Um,
so yeah, we can move on from that. Do you want to talk F122 coming out, or do you want to do Silverstone prediction first?
yeah, we can do our Silverstone predictions first, so we
Okay,
can close with the games.
sure, sounds good. So first, we'll do the times for the British Grand Prix are pretty good for us. Friday, FP1 8 a.m., FP2 11 a.m., Saturday FP3 7 a.m., qualifying 10 a.m., and then the race Sunday obviously at 10 a.m. So not too bad. Pretty good, all things considered, for our Eastern Standard Time. And
Absolutely.
then obviously it's at Silverstone, as it always is. I think there was maybe a few changes. I know they repaved it, maybe a few minor tweaks, but nothing crazy. Yeah, last year was a nuts race with Lewis, and Lewis kind of bumping Max out. People can have their own opinions on that. We're not going to get into that again. But yeah, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think Max takes it? Do you think it's Ferrari's reach? Do you think the Mercedes get up there? What's your podium?
Oh man, I hope Max has some success this weekend, like he has been, but I'm gonna pick maybe not the oddball decision, but you could consider it the oddball decision. I'm picking Leclerc. I think he's
Yeah,
gonna get another win. I think it's time. It's been too many weeks. It's been too long. And I mean, last year was when he almost had the win, and
yeah,
Lewis tracked it down and passed him right at the very end. So I would be okay, honestly, with Charles, Lewis, or Max winning. Obviously, Max would help me in our league, and Max is
hmm
my favorite driver who I support. But I like all the drivers, so I mean, even if a British driver wins, cool, great, awesome, great for them. We can discuss that. But yeah, I think Charles is gonna get his revenge.
yeah. I'd say that's probably what I would pick as well. I mean, at some point, eventually, there's got to be a crash of some sort. Like it's been too clean this far into the season. Eventually, and I don't know, maybe Lewis will go give Max another a run for his money this week, and they'll crash. I don't know. I think I don't really want to see anything bad, but I do think there might be a couple of DNFs at the front. Just kind of want to see a bit of a crazy race, and it seems like there's a lot of things coming together this week that could have that happen. I've just been hoping for a crazy race, hoping this one's it, and I don't know. It'd be nice to see, even if it does take something crazy. It would be nice to see both the Mercedes guys get on the podium together. But yeah, I would also have to say Leclerc, and I mean you obviously can't rule out Max, but don't want to see it, so I'm not gonna not gonna pick it.
Let me ask
Um,
you this:
sure.
who do you think's gonna place higher, Lewis or George?
I think George will probably qualify higher, and then I think Lewis will beat him in the race, like finish ahead of him in the race. That's my kind of half and half prediction there.
It's locked in.
So yeah, but it'll be interesting to see like signs if he has the same pace again or better pace even than Charles. It'll be interesting to see that. See, I mean
Absolutely.
Perez has been right up there with Max in quality. Like it's similar a little bit to like Max has obviously done way better this year than Lewis, but like the quality George against Lewis and Sergio against Max, it's not as but big of a gap as they've had previously in their careers with other teammates or even the same teammates in Max's case. So yeah, it should be really really interesting quality, and then they're like the top. If Mercedes is closer, then I mean there's six guys that could potentially like in that top 10 for quality should be really interesting, and then hopefully Lando can get in there as another British guy. But yeah, lots of good stuff to look forward to. The British fans will probably be pretty crazy.
Oh
Um,
yes.
yeah. So we were texting about today. F122 technically comes out Friday. Well, it comes out Friday, but technically you can get it if you want to pay the extra for the Champions Edition. You can get it tomorrow at so by the time this is out, basically Tuesday at 7 a.m. You'll be able to get it if you want to pay the extra, or you can get like 10 hours of free play on like EA Play or something like that.
Hmm.
So are you going to do that? Or are you going to just wait and then we can go into the driver ratings? after that.
Yeah, I might do the free or the EA Play because I think I have EA Play on my PlayStation 5, but I definitely want to check it out. But I'm gonna just wait for the regular edition to come out. Um, I unfortunately probably won't be able to play very much because Silverstone's this weekend, and then next weekend I'll be going on a trip. But afterwards, I'm planning on diving in, and I know we're very eager to do our own My Team co-op mode. That's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The fucking harder soft racing team.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. So
Oh my
yeah,
god.
before we get, we'll talk about like some of the reviews I guess that have come out so far. But first, the ratings came out, and I think I saw you comment on it. Like you weren't too pleased with it.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to get your opinion on that. The one thing that popped out to me first, the experience ratings on guys is wild. Like Max only has a 72 experience. So the top goes Max Verstappen 94, Lewis Hamilton 94. Overall, I'm talking. Bottas 88, Perez 88, Sainz 87, Lando Norris 90, Leclerc 92, Ricardo 83, Gasly 84, Alonso 89. I'm not going to go through everyone. Russell is 90. The lowest is Zhou Guanyu at 70 and Latifi at 70. Let's see. Yeah. So
Yep.
did you think? Because I know you had a bit of an opinion on it.
I just it's some of them are just a little baffling to me. Like, um, I think Pierre is a little low rated. I think just mainly my biggest problem is that they don't take the season so far into account. The same problem happened in the last game, and there was a lot of problems in the game last year.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but like if you're in the career mode, half the time Bottas is faster than Lewis and Perez is faster than
Yeah.
Max. That happens all the fucking time.
That's crazy.
And that's just one of the many problems. And there's another thing of like Vettel always goes way past the pit window and pits way, way late. Like, and he's always like P2 until like 3 laps left, and then he pits and then he drops to P13 or 14. It always fucking happens. But I am just like Ferrari's reliability is like super high. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense. I think it's like they're taking like a little preview for this season, but mostly going off last season. Like Ferrari's rated super high, which obviously wasn't the case last year, but Lewis is also super, super fucking high. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's just a little strange. I mean, yeah, the top 3 drivers are obviously Max, Lewis, and Charles, but that's not the case this season. So should that
Charles
be the case in the game?
Yeah. I hope that they'll have like updates and stuff to the ratings, but there's a few interesting ones to me at the bottom. Like Zhou Guanyu kind of got screwed.
He did.
Is he that much worse than Mick Schumacher? And then Lance Stroll 10 points higher than Zhou Guanyu. Like Lance Stroll.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like yeah, Ricardo. It's like some of them they base like Alonso's 89, so they obviously based on having a good history, but then like Vettel's 85. So but Vettel's had a better. I don't know. It is confusing how they go about deciding it, but hopefully they'll have like updates to it and it'll get a little more realistic.
Leclerc has 65 experience. Norris and Russell have 64, but yet they all have 90, 92 overall ratings.
Yeah,
it's
Russell's
very strange.
A little high rated. He's rated 90. That seems a little much considering he hasn't really done much before.
Yeah, but Bottas is a little high considering that he downgraded a little bit. I mean, he's still a great driver, don't get me wrong, but I think Fernando's rated a little high. Like, yes, he's been putting in some amazing times, but he's made a lot of mistakes this season, and that's just nitpicking. It just, as a whole, and looking at like the teams and the reliability and the power, and also Mercedes has like really, really good stats as far as their engine and team goes, which that's my biggest complaint as far as like just in preparation for the game. But I'm still gonna get it.
Like you're getting a game from last year, basically.
Yeah, I hope the sound quality is improved, because from like of clips from like a month ago that have seen. The sound sounds pretty much exactly like last year's game, which is a huge disappointment because the cars this year sound a lot different, a lot meatier. And I mean, the last year's game didn't even nail the sound, so it's very disappointing. I hope that's just a little bit. I hope that's tweaked a little bit, but besides that, hype to drive in Miami and do my team.
The updated tracks and stuff. And so I was reading some reviews on it, and like it seems like the new like F1 life thing that they're trying to input is kind of a waste of time. It doesn't really get you anything, but it seems like the new regulations they have translated over the game, so you can feel like the weight of the car a lot more. You do have to kind of change the driving strategy. Like you have to take certain curves differently this year than you would last year. So I'm still obviously gonna buy it the day it comes out, and I'm excited to play it. Like I just want to see how like the my team mode and the career mode and stuff are. So it remains to be seen. It sounds like obviously the graphics and all that shit's gonna be amazing, and there's like supercars and stuff, which I don't really care about. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll do a full review once it's come out, and we can actually get our own hands on it, because it's kind of hard to judge by.
Yeah, I would love to possibly. Maybe, I mean, we'll obviously update how my team goes, but it would be cool to be able to do some videos. You're playing on a PS4, right?
Yeah. We still can't get PS5s here. It's still so hard.
I know. I got incredibly lucky. I have a very sweet girlfriend, so. But
yeah, so that'll be by the time next by Silverstone hopefully we'll have the game. I'll try and get it this weekend. At some point, give it a low rip, and then we'll do a full review at some point in the next. Well, I think next week is Austria, right? So maybe we'll wait until after Austria to do a video game review. But I think we have back-to-backs.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. Let me verify that. That would be really cool, though.
Yeah.
Austria is going to be lit. Austria, July. Yes, it is. It's a week after. Then we have a bye week between the French GP and the Austrian GP.
The break, correct? So we have lots of time to put out some video game content once the break happens. Absolutely. I know you're gonna do your little rant series. We're waiting for that. That'll be exciting.
Yes. Oh, I just looked at the break. The break is so heartbreaking. It sucks because I guess the break ends right after my birthday. My birthday is August 22nd, so just under a week after my birthday, I get Spa. So wait, that's Spa's the return, isn't it?
I believe so. Usually is.
Yes, because it's after the Hungarian GP.
Oh, it's Hungary.
Hungary is what we're finishing before the break on.
Oh, okay. So there's one after France. I thought France was the last one before the break.
Nope, we've got France July 24th, and then Hungary July 31st, and then our break starts.
Sweet.
Yes, right. So we're gonna have a lot of content, or we're gonna have have to come up with some stuff for that month. Yeah. We're gonna keep the people entertained. We will, though.
Yeah, we got some ideas.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I think, as you said, not too much to talk about this week, because that's why we kind of just shot the shit off the start. So yeah, your prediction for Silverstone is Charles. Okay. And then let's see, Latifi. What place do you think Latifi comes in?
Unless there's DNFs, last.
Dead fucking last.
Where do you think Lando will place?
Ooh, I don't know. We're gonna have to see obviously how the car comes, but hopefully he can get top 10. I don't think he's gonna do much better than that.
Yeah, maybe a P6, maybe a P7, maybe.
Yeah, we'll make maybe we'll do a quick preview after the qualifying or something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, if we have a really fucking crazy quali, we'll definitely get like a little 15-minute snippet to put up on Spotify. That we definitely have to.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, I know you've got some storms over there, so
yes,
we'll keep it. Hopefully, who you got behind you there? You got Christian behind you, or is that?
Yes, Matt? He's keeping me safe. Thank you, buddy.
Disgusting human being.
I'll smack.
I lose just a little bit of respect for you every time I see that picture.
I know. At least it's not Helmet Marco.
Oh,
I would never.
If we had Helmet Marco or Bernie Ecclestone up there.
No thanks. I would put up fucking VJ from Racing Point before I would do that.
Oh no, I haven't heard that name in a while. Oh.
Rest
All
in
right,
peace.
well, wrap us up and get us out of here.
All right, yes. So follow us on TikTok, Instagrams, and Twitter at HarderSoftF1. We are the HarderSoft F1 podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Thank you all so much for watching or listening, and we will see you next week.